What is up, YouTube? Third Impact here, coming at you with the Kill la Kill Episode 17 review entitled Tell Me Why. Now, I will tell you why. We're going to be starting with the end of this episode as opposed to the beginning, and that is because we need to just get it out of the way. This was the best ending to a Kill la Kill episode that has happened so far. We got some good endings, but this is the ending to beat so far. Created the absolute most hype, and just, I need the next episode right now. So let's just get it out of the way. We knew that this was coming. We knew that Satsuki was going to rebel against Ragyo, but I don't think anybody expected it to go down the way it did, and for it to go down as soon as it went down. Because Ragyo is just viciously backstabbed, picked up off the ground, thrown onto a cross, crucified, blood gushing out of her mouth, blood spewing everywhere, and Satsuki's just like, this is my rebellion. Like, Hanoji Academy is my fortress, is my wall. Fuck you, Ragyo. Fuck you. Like, after what we saw happen last episode with Ragyo and Satsuki, it just felt like we got payoff so fast for Satsuki to just crucify her. Just crucified her. So, we've had some Kill la Kill endings, but that was the Kill la Kill end. Now, I just need to get that out of the way first, because there's a lot of other stuff that happens in this episode, and I don't want it to all just be overshadowed by that amazing ending. So now that's out of the way, let's just start from the beginning now and move right on to the end. Back at the Nudist beach base, we were left with Sumigu, where he was getting all pissed off, pointing his guns at Ryoko because she's not going to wear Senketsu, they're not going to fight for them, and there's a standoff going, but Mako hilariously diffuses the situation in one of her longest, ridiculous comedy sort of things ever. She just keeps doing them. Ryoko's like, huh? And then she does another one. She's like, what? And again, she does another one. It's just so crazy, but she finally diffuses the situation, and everybody's happy, and she's going to fight for Nudist Beach, so that's great. So they're all just sitting outside in Osaka, just kind of relaxing, and Sumigu is just practicing, you know, getting ready for the attack on the Cultural and Sports Festival, and Mikisugi comes to Ryoko and explains to him how Kanue, who we were introduced to back in episode 6, I think it was, or episode 5, it was episode 5, where we find out that somebody close to him was killed in a life fiber experiment, and it turns out that that was Kanue, his older sister, and we see a little more of an extended flashback of that, and that's too bad, but it ended with Kanue telling Sumigu to continue the experiments. So we can kind of see why he's so torn and why he is fighting for Nudist Beach and supports Ryoko, but at the same time, he really doesn't want to, because these life fibers took his sister, but at the same time, her last words to him were to continue the experiment. So that's putting him in a really difficult place. And during Mikisugi's sort of little lecture to Ryoko, he refers to her how, he explains to her how, at this point, the life fibers have been spliced right into her central nervous system's DNA, and that's why she's the only one that can communicate with Senketsu and wear him and actually use his power. But there was that one moment in episode 5 where Sumigu heard Senketsu. He pulled him in and said to him, you better not harm Ryoko, and, like, threatened him. So Sumigu can also hear Senketsu, even though apparently Ryoko's the only one who can because her DNA is a certain way. So there's maybe a little bit of speculation or theorizing there to say that Sumigu might be like a brother or an uncle or in some way related to him. I already thought that maybe they were brother and sister way back in episode 5 because of, like, the red mohawk and the red streak. But this DNA thing and him being the only other character that has heard Senketsu talk, I feel like that might cement that. That really makes me think that that's a fact. So that's kind of cool. And we readdress Satsuki's whole how Genketsu is called, or Junketsu is called a wedding dress, or that's what it translates to, and how Satsuki's father gave it to her. We see the flashback of her father again, but this is played the exact same way through her flashback, through her memories, and we've seen now how memories and the actual images that were given during these scenes aren't always accurate depending on who's remembering them. And I still find it strange that Sasuke's father is just this random dude who we've never seen. Is he just going to be introduced later and be important? Or is her memories skewed a little bit? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Just the fact that, I mean, I know I keep pushing the fact that we haven't heard of Ryuko's mother and we haven't heard of Sasuke's father and that they could be sisters. I still really feel like they're trying to push this and really pushing the mother-father side on both of them and being like, who is it? Who is it? We still don't know who it is. And I don't know. I just felt like pushing that again and it not changing us getting nothing on it. She just doesn't remember exactly what he looked like or his appearance has changed. I don't know. I still think that that is Ishin. And the Gamaguri, he's announcing to the Honoshi Academy town that the Culture and Sports Festival is going to be happening. And Bazaro gets up there and like almost tears him a new one because it's like, where is Mako? Where is Ryoko? Like, you are the head of the disciplinary committee after hours for school, and I'm sure during field trips, whatever, he's responsible for the students. So even though he's like this super powerful guy in the super powerful position, her parents are definitely allowed to go to him and ask these sorts of questions. And as soon as they ask this, the look on his face is just like, oh my god, like, fuck, like, this shit, like, I have to deal with this now, I gotta explain this. I was just up here doing my thing, and now, like, this is a big deal. I can't just ignore them. Alright, so I gotta deal with this. And it's just like, um, your daughter's a rebel, Ryuko's a rebel, that means you guys are the parents of rebels, you're out of this town, you're kicked out, your house is gonna be confiscated, there, like, been dealt with. It was just like, oh my. But then Gamaguri lets him know that the cultural and sports festival is going to be tomorrow. So just for that, he's going to give them a special pardon. So you know what? Forget all that stuff I said. Like, it's just so funny how he switches gears and gives them this special pardon, and it's hilarious because in the classic Kill That Kill giant red text on the screen, it's like Culture and Sports Grand Festival, and then it's like, after he gives him the special pardon, it's like in white text, participate in ceremony, and then in black text, wholeheartedly toast. It's just, he keeps doing this explanation of the special pardon and how he can, like, toast Ragyo and Satsuki's reign, and it's how they could make up for their, or fight for their daughter and all that. It's just, it was so ridiculous. And, they accept this, but Bazaro, and then followed by everybody else, goes like super serious face. The whole art style changes, and they look like completely different characters. It sounds like he has a completely different voice actor, and it like zooms in on his face. It's like the old school, but not even old school. It's like zooms in, and the lines are still moving, and all the lines are like shaking between, like, it's almost like it's twitching. And it almost reminds me of, like, what I would imagine an anime parody to look like. Like, if I saw really over-the-top North American, like, Flash animation making fun of anime or, like, spoofing it or parodying it, that it would do that, like, really ridiculous thing that you don't actually ever see in anime, but it is always in, like, parodies and things like that. So that was just so funny how they did that. And then everybody else went, like, super serious face, too. I had all their names here. Like, I mean, I always forget the mother's name, so I gotta say it here. I couldn't even remember it right now, but I'll write it down. So it's Bazaro, Tsukuyu, and Mataro. Obviously Mataro and Guts, but Tsukuyu. I need to remember that, because I feel like the mom's gonna do something important soon, too, so that'll be a thing. So they accept, and as long as there's food, so that's like the main thing. And when that comes up later, they just don't stop eating, so that's pretty hilarious. So we switch gears to Ragyo and Nui and Hoomaru in her little office, which really, with the lighting in the preview, it was like sunlight going in and it looked like a nice happy day. In this episode, it really reminded me almost of like Gendo's office, sort of like dark lit, weird room. So there's that, and Nui doesn't like the fact that Ryuko got her uniform back. She actually thinks that's very rude. She keeps a very happy expression on it, like always, but you kind of get the impression that Nui wants to settle things with Ryoko, and that that's going to be a thing. So that scene almost kind of made me think that there was foreshadowing to another Nui Ryoko fight. Maybe that's how she earned the second half of the scissors. I'd hate that because I love Nui. She's my favorite character. I said that before, but I just feel like they were kind of hinting at that. But then at the same time, there's a really weird thing that happened here related to Ragyo's crucifixion. I know this video is going very long, and it's only going to get longer. I know that there's so much to say in this episode, but when Ragyo's walking away, she says, "I expect you to dress up for the occasion." Pause. Dramatic light. Enough to satisfy even my sense of style. And it's like, okay. But then when we see Nui standing outside of the stadium when all this stuff goes down right after Ragyo's entrance, she isn't dressed up in anything different than normal. So there's a lot of speculation going on right now, and that's that Nui was actually in Ragyo's place, but I would hate for that to be true. And I still am not 100% convinced, because spoilers, not really. We see the preview. Ragyo's fine in the preview. Nui is also fine in the preview. Nui is facing off against the Elite Four in the preview. So unless that happens, and then she turns into Ragyo later, or they both turn out fine in the end, due to completely different reasons, I'm not sure. But that scene where Ragyo's in her office saying those things, it seems too strange for her to not have changed her dress at all. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. Trigger really messes around with the previews and what they show you and what they make you expect to happen. So I'm having a really difficult time trying to figure out if Nui's did take her place, if it was some other puppet or clone, if they're both going to turn out fine. Yeah, that's my speculation there. But backtracking a little bit, before they take off to go interrupt this sports and cultural festival, Mako, Ryoko, Mikisugi. Oh, Mikisugi stays. No, he actually goes. What am I saying? Thought he was going to stay behind with Mako, but then they all end up going. And Sumigu, he gives him this tailor's dagger and tailor's glove, which can cut life fibers. So Mikisugi just has this stuff. I take it these are nowhere near as strong as like the scissor blades, because it just seems like it's going to be a lot harder. He has to cut the life fiber, or the banshee, I should say. But it's not going to be like Seni Soshits or whatever. It's not just going to be like he can swing it and it's done. I feel like he's going to have to get in close and personal and like really like dig in there and like rip it out. So that's going to be really cool. But the way there's just like, here you go, you have a glove with blades on every finger that can cut life fibers. It's like, you just had this kicking around. I mean, whatever, he could do that. It's getting into the later part of the series. But Mako decides to come along, and there's a badass motorcycle scene. And then it's the night of, we see the Elite Four all preparing. They're all taking this very seriously. And then there is this badass toast. All the Elite Four, Satsuki and their tailor, who I can't remember his name. It's not Shiori, but it's related. It sounds kind of like the butler uncle's name, but I don't remember. They're all there, and they all drink, they toast, they look, pardon my French, stern as fuck, and then they just throw the glass on the ground and then take off. It's like, oh shit. Like, this is it. This is what they have been preparing for. This is the iron resolve of Hanoji Academy. It's gonna come to light, and they're gonna... Which also has me scared for Nui. If she has to face off against the Elite Four, I feel like they got a fire in their belly, and I don't know. Nui's Nui, but all four Elite Four at the same time, that's gonna be tough. So the cultural and sports festival begins. Ragyo makes this ridiculous entrance. She's like giant illusion, maybe something in the sky, shrinks down, smoke. Ragyo's there. She looks like some weirdo, evil queen, clown, jester, maleficent thing. I don't know. It's weird. It's like she doesn't have horns like uh, Maleficent, but they're like floppier. But she has like frills. She's really creepy looking, but I don't know. I like the look, and she has like the rainbow weird shit from her hair. It's like almost like it's all in her clothing, like it's gonna be bursting out of the seam. So that's kind of cool. And she presses a big button. Life fibers come up, consume everybody in the cocoon of life fibers, except for Mataro because he wasn't wearing his. He just painted it on him and he's naked. That was kind of weird, but kind of funny. And either he's going to become useful, or they'll just still keep him as a comic relief. Maybe he'll team up with Mako and they'll do something, or do a combined speech. So I just assume it's going to be something like that. It can't be something too big. And Miki Suzuki doesn't like the name of his weird bipedal robot thing. It's called he calls it the DTR, but it's the Dotonbori Robo. And he hates that name. He gets so pissed. And all I could find in my research was that it's like a tourist street in Osaka. It's kind of like a red light sort of ish district. And that makes sense because Osaka is where Nudist Beach his headquarters was, and probably where this thing was manufactured. But he just hates the name so much. It's DTR. You have to call it that. He just gets pissed. So whatever. Maybe there's some sort of inside joke there that I didn't get. I don't know, but that was kind of funny. And obviously, like I already said at the beginning of the episode, holy crap, them Ryoko and them show up, they get over, Mako can't join them, and Satsuki just stabs her in the back, whoops her up, and just throws her onto a cross, and it's like, so that was just amazing. That was just so brutal, so fantastic, and I can't wait for the next episode and see what happens. There's gonna be so much action next episode, it's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. Kill that kill! Kill! How many episodes are left? Like 7 episodes left? Minimum 7 episodes, hopefully more than that. But yeah, I'll see you guys for Space Dandy in the very near future. And yeah, hope you guys are enjoying Kill That Kill. Peace out.